Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk to you today a little bit about Ubuntu. The reason I'm here is because I think it's one of the best solutions to solving all the problems that our world's facing right now. What is Ubuntu? Well, it's a philosophy that takes 3 hours of work from each member of our community. So let's take Sedona, for example. You have 10,000 people that live here. Let's say 5,000 people want to just participate in this program, or even 2,000. Even at 2,000 people, at 3 hours of work per week, that's 6,000 hours of work we could do together. Now, the first philosophy of the Ubuntu style living is basically you want to build food for your community. And not only you want to build food, but you want to build enough food to create food to feed 3 times what your community needs. So you take that 6,000 hours of work per week and you start building your community farm. And even if it took 6 months, a year to build a community farm that could feed all of your community times 3, would it not be worth it? Not to mention everybody that does their 3 hours of work per week gets to partake in all that food for free. It's funded by the community for the community, and then you get to sell that excess food off to the rest of the community that's not even participating. We'll be selling the cheapest, most organic, cleanest, healthiest food on the market. I mean, that's just the start of it. Next, you start taking that 3 hours of work per week once you build your farm, maybe 1,000 hours a week go towards maintaining it, keeping it up, but you have now 5,000 hours to donate towards your next project. Well, let's say reach out to the community fish farm, and we have a fish farm right here in Sedona. And we say, hey, Mr. Fish Farm, we're going to help you produce 3 times what our community needs. On top of that, we're going to give you all the labor that you need. We're going to feed the fish using our organic food from our community farm. And you get to keep your profits, 1/3 of your profits free and clear, and 2/3 of that profits go back towards funding future community projects. We've now eliminated all overhead, any headaches. Now this business can thrive and succeed with community support. That extends to all community projects in the future. I mean, the next thing, though, that the Ubuntu philosophy really talks about is freeing yourself from electricity. Now, creating wind generators, solar panels, water, geothermal, whatever your region is most conducive to start implementing those and to start building them using those community projects. It's kind of a no-brainer when you start looking at it now. 5-10 years down the road, we have all 10,000 people in Sedona working together. That's 30,000 hours of work per week that we get to work together to create all of our projects, all of our community things. Eventually that becomes our schooling. And that's where I really get so passionate about this, because now that we're creating the food, jarring the food, growing the food, all of these businesses or community projects, that's where our kids start going to school. They start interning at all of these places of business, these community projects. How do they start? How do they work? How do you can stuff? How do you inventory stuff? How does the warehouse work? Where we put all of these things, because we're making 3 times what we need. So then we can trade that to other communities and say, hey, we're producing this. And other communities are going to be like, we're doing the same thing. We're producing this. We can trade you for that. It becomes a very exciting plan, because then, well, all of our kids start to learn how to build our city. Eventually, we're building the houses for our community. You no longer have a mortgage payment. You no longer have food bills. You no longer have electricity bills. Let me ask you, what else do you need? Well, now you can do what you want to do. Now you can be an artist. Now you can thrive as an artist. You don't even have to worry about being successful, because your needs are met. If you are successful, great. You can now enjoy that success. But it is no longer necessary to be successful. So then money falls off the plate. It becomes a society where we can produce all that we need. This is why trillionaires exist. Trillionaires exist because we work 40 hours a week for them to make them trillionaires. When we work 3 hours a week together in community towards community goals that benefit everybody, there are no more trillionaires. There are no more. Why? Because we work together to have all that we need. And we can have an abundance. We can have more than we need. We can have all these technologies that aren't being suppressed by economic factors, by other factors that we just need to free ourselves from, because when we as a community say, hey, yeah, come over here, build your free energy devices, bring your anti-grav technology, we have the funding to do it, we'll help you build it. That's going to change the world, guys. And then you can travel to each of those areas, and that becomes even better. You can literally go to these other places and work your 3 hours and get home, get food, get electricity, and you can travel the world now on the Ubuntu philosophy. It'll change the world, guys. It's not an if, it's a when. It's already been proven to be done in small communities. Now we just need to find an established community that can let it grow, that can show when we get 1,000 or 2,000 people together, what can we do? That hasn't been done yet, but when it is, it'll change the world. Thank you. Have a great day.